Hello and welcome to ExcelDashboardTemplates.com. This is Steve Equals True. Please visit my blog at ExcelDashboardTemplates.com where you're sure to get the latest posts, tips, tricks, and techniques and learn everything about Excel. All right, today I want to do a follow-up on a post that we like to call Terrible Chart Tuesday. Presented this chart recently in that discussion on our blog, so make sure you go out there and visit some Tuesdays. We'll have them every once in a while, and we get some comments from the viewers. And in this chart, you'll notice that this is a church chart, and they were showing their deficit from 1 year of collections to the next year. So negative 5,000, negative 10,000 every month from July on. They have been collecting less and less from the parishioners, and so they had this chart. And a lot of viewers said, you know, the negative part of this chart is really what's wrong here. Usually, when you have a deficit, you want to show the chart going down. So that was some good catches by our viewers, but I wanted to use this as I tried to plot this in Excel, wanted to use this as kind of a learning tool and say, well, how could we, if we wanted to plot this chart, do it in Excel? And it's not super easy, it's not super hard, but I wanted to use it to show you how you can do a negative chart going up in two different ways. Now you may ask them, why would you have a negative chart going up? Here's an example of golf. Golf, when you score low, and they even actually have below par. When you get below par, you start going negative to par, and it's your comparison to the par total strokes that you would play in 18 holes. And so if you normally would shoot a 17 is par, or 72 is par on 18 holes. If you shot 2 under par, which would be a 70 on most courses, that's what you might score. And then in some golf tournaments, you have multiple days, so you'll see negative 19, negative 14, because it's a combined 4 different days of golf. So let's show you how you do it, how you create this chart, because negative is actually better, and you want to show kind of that change in the line going higher when it's a negative chart. Now there's 2 different ways to do this, and we'll go ahead and show you both ways. The first way I've done here, and you can see I've got some hidden sections back here in my chart. So what you want to do is, and let's go ahead and create that data. Go ahead and hit delete on that. What you want to do is you want to do equals and the ABS, which stands for absolute value. I'm going to hit my tab. I'm going to go over here and do the absolute value of player 1 score in column B3, and you can see it's 19. So this is the first way that I and others on the blog said, well, here's what I would do is I would go ahead and let's get rid of that chart and we'll recreate it now. What I would do is I would create the absolute value of your values. Then let's go ahead and plot all of this data by highlighting the range, going up to your insert ribbon, and then let's go ahead and do a line chart. So bringing this line chart up over here, shrink it to get on the screen a little bit better. You'll notice I've got 4 different lines. I've got the negative values and the positive values right up above. So I can click on the lines and just get rid of my negative values and hit delete. Just selected them and hit my delete key, and now we have our chart. So the bad news though is my vertical axis is not showing negative 20. So if this was Tiger Woods and he shot negative 19, you would think he shot 20 over par, not 20 under par. So what we do, and what a lot of our viewers did, is we went and we clicked on this vertical axis, and then we hit Control 1, or you can also right-click on that vertical axis and do Format Axis. Now, once you do that, you'll have your Format Axis dialog box that you can pull up, and what you want to do is in your Axis options here, you want to go down to your number value, and you want to change the category from General to Custom. And when you do that, you want to come in and add in the format code under Custom, you want to add a negative to this first set here. So this is the positive values. These are the negative values. Well, since it's positive, I want to just give it a format of a negative sign in front of that. You can do $sign. You can do all sorts of things with your formatting, but we're going to make it negative. And we'll go ahead and click on Add to there and click on Close. And now look at that. Our vertical axes on this chart is all set for us to work, so that now, let's say this is Tiger Woods, negative 20. He shot a negative 19. Our data point still says 19, but if you don't hover over it and you're just viewing this in a dashboard, you'll notice that it does look correct. Okay, now let's go ahead and do the second method of this. And the second method that you want to do is called reversing the axis. So you'll notice in this chart, I am using the same data that we already had. I'm going to hit delete on that. What you want to do is we don't need to create those helper columns to make the absolute value, although it does help you when it comes to your horizontal axis, and I'll show you that in a minute. If we leave our data alone, and a lot of people didn't do this on the blog, this might be a little bit of a quicker way, I'm not quite sure, but you want to highlight your range, go up to your insert ribbon, go over and create your line chart, and so we now have our line chart. And this is normally when you're doing a chart that's negative, you'll notice everything's negative, it's all below 0. And what you want to do is you want to come over and right click on your vertical axis, do format axis, and when you do that, you get this format axis dialog box, and there under axis options, you're going to see that we have a choice here. If I scroll down just a little bit, it says values in reverse order. So once we've clicked on values in reverse order, you can see that our vertical axis is now 0 to -20. And the benefit of this also is if you highlight over any of these points, you're going to see negatives, -19, -7. So your values are going to correspond. Instead of tricking Excel, let's use some of the Excel functions. But the only issue you have now is this horizontal axis is showing above the 0 because we flipped it. It's normally up on the top. We flipped the vertical axis, and now our labels for our horizontal axis are showing up here. All right, so to get this to be correct, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and right-click on our horizontal axis and do Format Axis. Then what we want to do is we want to change a couple of options in our axis options. It is down here in the labels, and you'll see it says next to axis, we want to choose high. If you do none, of course, that's there, but if you do low, it puts them back up on the top. If we choose next to axis, it's down below, but they're above the 0. If we do high, it'll actually put them below our horizontal axis at the value of 0. So this is probably the better technique instead of creating some helper columns and fudging or altering your vertical axis values because those data points don't show up right when you hover over them. But the one extra step you have to do after flipping this to reverse order for your vertical axis, you need to change your label position to high on your horizontal axis. Once again, this is Steve Equals True at ExcelDashboardTemplates.com. Please visit our blog for great posts like Terrible Chart Tuesday that you're learning a little bit about today, as well as we have a Friday challenge that we often post out there to see how you would create different charts given a set of data. Also, please consider subscribing to my video channel so that you're sure to get the latest posts delivered directly to your inbox. Thank you.